Because I solve everything I can without telling you. And when I can't, I have to tell you.
No, but it could have waited.
You're,
We are notifying people you are live.
I see you as
Yeah. We are notifying people. Looks like people are popping in, popping in. Hello, Miss Lacey. Hello, everyone. See some people popping in here. So glad. Hello, hello. I'm so glad to see everyone joining us today on this Saturday morning or afternoon, according to where you are. I'm in Central Time Zone, so I guess East Coast would be just popping up on lunchtime. It's morning everywhere else. Hello, Patty Cakes. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Cajun Girl. I'm doing really well. Hello, Hoku Holistics. Hope everyone's doing well today. Beautiful day here in Nebraska. Popping on. All right. So, hope everyone's having a great week. I don't know if any of you were able to join Iris and I on our workshops that we've been holding on Wednesdays, but if you haven't, they're free. For the next few Wednesdays, you can come and join us. It's really about releasing trauma and, really being able to be now. If you find yourself ruminating on the past, if you find yourself really living in the past, and bonding with that trauma, it can certainly keep you from living in the joy of now. And that's what the workshops are about, are releasing those bonds, releasing that trauma, just so you can live in the power of now and really figure out who you are at a soul level. I'm quite certain none of us were put on this planet to really be miserable. But that's one thing I love about spirits. Like I was doing some readings yesterday, and the spirits were just being so kick-ass about just talking about the mundane, fun things they had done with their families. And that's what you see from spirits. They rarely do they reference the big fabulous vacations or anything like that. They will reference just those everyday routines, sitting in front of the TV, eating popcorn, referencing those certain movies that they loved to watch with their loved ones. It's just always so refreshing to see that on the other side, they're all about the everyday joys. Sometimes we can feel like our lives become mundane and we're on this merry-go-round of the same thing over and over, but that's really what Spirit talks about, enjoying. Hello, Mrs. Norman. How are you? I took some time off. As y'all know, I was doing some healing, and so I know, Miss Cajun Girl. How are they? Oh, they haven't reached you yet. I'm talking about the fires in Louisiana. That is a mess down there. Good grief. All right, so let's get into this. We're going to do some readings. For those of you who have not seen me read, make sure you confirm the information I'm giving you. So if I'm pulling up your spirit, I start describing them, make sure you yay or nay. Don't make the information fits. If it doesn't fit you, then we'll figure out who the spirit belongs to. All right, do you want to start with spirit-led or do you want to start with? All right, my moderator has chosen spirit-led. So here we go. Y'all listen up. You know the drill. If it fits you, then make sure you say yes in the comments. Okay. So the first person stepping up has a dad energy to him. He is referencing It's a Wonderful Life. Why are you referencing that movie? Okay, so hold that thought. He is referencing the movie It's a Wonderful Life. He's showing me the black, I don't know if they ever colorized it, but he is showing me the black and white version. Wasn't that the one where the guy went through, is that the one he went through town and he had almost lost all his money and then the town rallied around him? Is that It's a Wonderful Life? I think that's it. That's the one he's showing me. He is, yes. Thank you. That was a movie he was showing me, and I knew I had seen it, but I wasn't quite sure of the name. Okay. Oh my goodness, and someone even knows the name of it. It was in Bedford Falls. He didn't show me that. He did show me Okay, so this man in his heyday, when he was young, he's not showing me when he was older. When he was younger, he was very much that kind of man. He was someone, you watch it every year. He was someone, well, is your dad in spirit? Because if you watch it every year, that could definitely be a sign that it's your dad. It's someone who y'all loved to watch that movie together. Okay, so it's a dad energy. He has shown me in his heyday when he was young and working outside the home. It was like the 19 yes, ma'am. Okay, Miss Shannon. It'll be interesting to see if this is your dad, because that's definitely something they would do. He is showing me that there is a black and white photo of him, and the suit he's wearing in this black and white photo is kind of a grayish color, so it would have been a lighter color, and he has that skinny tie that they wore back in that day. He is also showing me in this picture he is wearing like those darker rimmed glasses. My name is Mary on Summer. Okay. He is also showing me that he passed from some kind of cancer. I'm making notes as y'all. That's what I'm writing. Because when I go back and recap, sometimes I forget what I've said. Okay. He's also showing me that this man was...
Shannon
yes.
said
Oh.
She can go live too.
Oh, Miss Shannon. All right. I'm about to ask you to go live, Miss Shannon, on here. Oh, look at you, Miss Shannon, about to invite you. Let me figure out how to do this. Why is it not? There we go. Let's see if Shannon's going to go live with me. Moms. Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
Where are you located?
I live in Tellico Plains, Tennessee.
Tennessee. All right. And your family, so it's your dad who's in spirit?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was from Tennessee or further south?
We're actually from Pittsburgh, and then we moved from Pittsburgh to Florida. We lived in Florida for 10 years and then
Okay.
moved to Tennessee.
Okay. It's the Florida, because he's showing me being from further south than you.
Yeah.
Than what you. So now when spirits are referencing, because you said you were born and kind of raised in Pennsylvania, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. And then he's referencing further south than you, which would be the Florida. So that would have been the residence that he kind of grooved with the most and that had the biggest impact on his life. Would you know that to be true?
Yes.
Very good. Now, your dad also died from some kind of cancer?
He did. Yes.
He's showing me that it started in one spot, but it really spread all over his body. Would you know that to be true?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
very good. He is now. Was the cancer related to his smoking?
Okay. On the death certificate, it says yes, but I don't think it was. None of us do.
Okay, good. As long as you can acknowledge it and that it was referenced on the death certificate.
Yeah.
Okay, so now your dad is telling me. So I told him, I was like, "Oh, there's some intrigue here. What's she talking about?" And let me tell you, because I love intrigue, I'm always getting, not that your dad was, but I'm always getting cases where things didn't just go quite right. I want to acknowledge real quick everyone who is sharing my live. I really appreciate it. It helps get me up in the algorithms, which since I took so much time off, it's not, TikTok algorithm. Your dad is referencing that was there some, I wouldn't say foul play in his care, but was there something off about his care? Something should have been done.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, very good.
Absolutely.
He is definitely referencing that. So I don't know if y'all knew it for sure or if it was just something you thought.
Well, we kind of figured it out. Do you want me to tell you?
Before, I love that you asked me that, because let me tell you what your dad is saying and then you can tell me.
Okay.
He is showing me that even while he was alive, there was some talk in the family about they felt like things weren't being done as they should.
Mhm.
And they felt like things were off, but there was no confirmation.
Yep.
And then he is showing me, so he wants to acknowledge that y'all were right. Y'all were absolutely
Yeah.
right. He's also acknowledging that there should be no guilt, because he's making me hear people are on constantly, we should have done this. We should have pushed harder. We shoulda, shoulda, shoulda.
Yep.
But he is saying that it wouldn't have made a difference in the end result.
Yeah, there's a lot
Okay,
of guilt.
yes. And he is saying that, and it's hard to hear this, I know, but he has no regrets because he would have made it to he would have gone to the other side anyway. And he is at peace. He is saying that he can um, dance again. I don't know if you knew your dad to be a dancer when he was younger. Did you know that about
I
him?
do. He did the what was it? I don't know. He did some dance with my grandma. I can't remember what it was.
Okay. That was the hesitation when I was like, he's showing me. I was like, am I seeing that right? Yep, he was showing me him dancing. So he's wanting you to know that he is whole and healthy and can dance and breathe. And he's saying also sing, which I know he wasn't a singer here, like a professional singer, but
Yeah.
he liked to sing along with
Yeah.
people.
He liked to listen to his music. He did. He sat
Yeah.
on his bed and listened to his CDs.
Okay, so now you did know that there was, back to what you originally said, you did understand that there was something off about his care.
Yes. Okay. When he was in the hospital, they had an IV in his arm, and I guess, I mean, it was in his arm for a while, and his arm started swelling up. Here, the IV wasn't in his vein; it was in his arm,
Oh
and
yeah.
his arm was like 20 pounds. Like he couldn't lift his arm whatsoever. And what we were thinking, because after that happened, he died maybe like a week or two after. And they're saying that he died of smoking, lung cancer, blah, blah, blah. But when he went to the hospital, they were saying that, it spread to his lungs, it spread to his brain, and it went everywhere. But what we were saying was, because after his arm, like we even told the hospital about his arm, and then they're like, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine. That's what happens." And
Hmm.
we know dang right well that's not what happens when you have an IV in your arm. Well,
Absolutely.
anyway, they sent him home, and we think it was staph. We think it turned into staph, which is ultimately what killed him, not the cancer.
Okay, very good. So for those of you who are just joining, she just confirmed what her dad, so her dad stepped up and he instantly said that he had died from cancer related to smoking, but that had spread all over his body. And she said yes, but then also her dad said there was something off about the care, and he was acknowledging that what was off about his care did speed his passing, but he didn't want anyone to feel guilty about it because he would not have lasted much longer anyway.
Yes, because the guilt part is, okay, me and my brother were supposed to go to Pennsylvania to move my grandparents down here when my dad was at home, and he was like, "Go ahead," because I didn't want to leave. He said, "Go ahead and go. I will be okay." I said, "I don't want to go." He said, "I promise you, I will be okay." So
Mm-hmm.
I spent the rest of the day with him before we left, and then we made it up to Pennsylvania that same day. The very next morning, my mom called and wanted to put me on a flight to get me down there because me and my dad were very close. And we were an hour short of his
Mm-hmm.
passing. Like he
You
did
know,
not want me to be there, and that hurt
no,
so much.
no. Because I see that from a lot of people. Some people love to have their loved ones around holding their hands, and other people will wait until their loved ones have left the room, and the second their loved ones leave the room, they pass because they
Yeah.
don't. It's all a personal preference to each person. He is also acknowledging there was some kind of celebration in, I've seen June or July, and he wants to acknowledge that. And I'm not talking the 4th of July, it was something more personal to your family. He wants to acknowledge that.
We had
He,
two birthdays,
okay, very good. Yeah, I knew he was acknowledging
June
it.
and July.
Oh, okay, that's the reason I couldn't know what
Actually, we
to
had
go
two
because
in July and one in June.
because I was like, I was here in July, and so as you were talking, I was questioning your dad. I was like, July? He said June and July, and I thought, why am I not getting this right? So it was because it was June and July. Very good. I like
Yeah,
when
my granddaughter, my daughter, and my other daughter.
so when spirits acknowledge things that I wouldn't know, it is a sign that they are around you. I don't let spirits step up and just say I'm around them.
Yes.
They have to prove it. Also, he wants you to know that he is the one who sends you it looks like hummingbirds. He sends you the birds. So just know when you see those, that is a sign from your dad.
Okay. See him all the
Well,
time on the porch.
thank you. Thank you so much for joining me live.
Thank you. I
I
really
appreciate
appreciate
it.
that. I needed that.
Oh, good. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. All right, that kicked us off to a fun start. I want to thank everyone for joining and also for sharing my live. I appreciate when y'all share and like my live. Helps the algorithms, and as y'all well know, y'all been here. We talk about it. I've been struggling since I took some time off to heal, and it takes a while to make it back up in the algorithms. So thank you. I appreciate you. Do you have someone?
Faye, Dad, Chester.
Okay, Miss Faye. Getting your dad Chester up here. So if Miss Faye's in the house, make sure you listen, confirm, or deny the information. Don't make it fit. If it doesn't fit, we'll figure out what spirit is stepping up. Okay, so Chester is showing me that he had a job that dealt with a lot of paperwork. That's the first thing he is showing me is shuffling paper. He's showing me with his pen or pencil in his mouth like this. So that would be a memory that you would know him by. He's also showing me he was in the hospital before his passing, but I feel like he was in the hospital and left and either went back but it was about this incident of being in the hospital. And he had some kind of surgery, and he's sitting on the side of the bed, hooked up to an IV, and also he has some kind of cords that are monitoring him. And he shows me having to walk, in the hospital. They make you walk once you've had a surgery or something with this IV. He is showing that. But this surgery is something that, though it did not make him pass, paperwork, no, hospital, yes. Okay, very good. So we're going to figure out what that paperwork thing is. Can she go live? Nope. Okay.
What's her name?
Faye, she
Faye
can't.
King.
No, Faye Brisbane. No, she only has
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
$37.
I
Okay.
put the strong on the name. I'm sorry.
All right. Don't mind us. Me and my moderators having a side conversation. Okay, so Faye, he is acknowledging that this, I'm sorry, he was talking. This hospital stay wasn't what killed him, but it was very significant in his life before his passing. When I asked him, because you said he did not have the paperwork job, I'm asking him, why are you showing me on this paperwork? He's referencing someone who is still alive who has a job like that. They do. Okay, yes, very good. Thank you, Faye, for confirming the hospital. He is also referencing someone who does do a lot of paperwork, who is alive. They're constantly shuffling paperwork. And when I say, thank y'all, when I say paperwork, it's gotten to where a lot of our paperwork has made it to computers. So, used to we would be juggling paperwork. So if you know someone, Faye, that is around you that does a lot of paperwork pushing, and it could be computer screen pushing nowadays, your dad is referencing that person. Do you know who he's talking about, Miss Faye? Okay, she understands. Okay, very good. Okay, I appreciate her acknowledging that. You're doing a really good job, Faye. I appreciate you. I know it's hard to get the confirmations in the comments quick enough, especially because people are usually nervous when they're being read. So you're doing a really good job. Your dad is referencing, Faye, that you are, okay. I don't think I've ever had a spirit. I've read thousands of spirits. I don't think I've heard a spirit word it exactly like this. That your love language is words of confirmation. And he is saying that you ask for a lot. Like those around you and those that you have relationships with, you're not extremely demanding, but it is very well known that you like words of confirmation. It feels like someone is doing just the opposite to you, and your dad is wanting you to know that you need to create some boundaries in that situation. Hopefully this is resonating with you. He is telling me, oh, completely understand. Very good. Thank you. He's also telling me, Faye, that you are extremely emotionally intelligent. Now, thank you, Starfish. Emotional intelligence is very important. It is a huge bonus to navigating this world. But sometimes we can use it to excuse people's behavior, because if you understand why they're behaving in a certain way, you kind of excuse their behavior. And your dad is saying, he's kind of wagging his finger. He's like, girl, you know better. You know better. The best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. Yes, people can change, but when someone shows you who they are the first time, you should believe them. Yep. So this Faye must know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, Faye, thank you so much for letting me read your dad. You did an excellent job confirming the information. I appreciate you doing that. So for those of you listening, I do ask as I'm reading for people to just pop in the comments. You're welcome, Faye. Yes, yes, or no. And when you confirm, it's not necessarily for me. It's so that the people watching understand that yes, I know what I'm talking about, and yes, I'm on the right track. Just give some confidence, and it's a beautiful thing when people can have confidence that yes, there is life after death, and yes, people thrive on the other side. Spirits thrive, and also I was about to say people on earth have the ability to tap back, and it's not certain people. Everyone has the ability to do what I do. I've just done it tens of thousands of times. So once you've done something that many times, yeah, it's going to look a little bit effortless, though it is not. You should see what I go through before I come on live. I was just sitting in meditation, and I do mantras, and I do all the things just so I can make sure my connection is pure. All right, so we are now going to do spirit led. All right, let's do it. We're going to do some spirit led here. I have a young man stepping up. When I say young man, he is laughing. He was in his late 20s to early 30s. He is showing me on a four-wheeler. That was the hesitation. He was showing me on a four-wheeler, and I was trying to decide if he passed on the four-wheeler or if he just loved to ride the four-wheeler. I'm hearing a Travis name. So if you know someone who is Travis, that is the name the Spirit is giving me. He is showing me that significant to around the time of his passing, he was out on some land with some buddies, and there was drinking going on, and they were all riding four-wheelers. He is showing me someone trying to stop him from getting on the four-wheeler because he shouldn't have been. My cousin died of cancer and aunt's still there. He's telling me he was extremely smart. Like this kid, he was a young man. He was actually, he was a grown man, but if you're that young to me, I have kids that age, you're a kid. He was very smart, and he could fix anything. He was like that go-to guy, the guy who just kind of knew a little bit of everything. He is showing me leaving behind a child, but it looks more like a pregnant person. So I'm going to recap this. Please put a yes in the comments if it fits. I so appreciate everyone liking and sharing my live. It makes such a big difference in helping me in the algorithm. Okay, so I have a gentleman here. Yes in the comments if it fits. I have a gentleman here. He's showing me the name Travis. He is showing me he was in his late 20s to early 30s when he passed. I'm actually seeing the number 32, but we can give or take there. Significant to around the time of him passing, he's showing me he is out on some land with some buddies, and they are drinking and riding four-wheelers, and he got on this four-wheeler. He is also showing me that someone tried to stop him from getting on the four-wheeler because he had been drinking too much. When he passed, he left behind a child, and he's actually showing me a pregnant woman. He's also telling me he was very smart and was just starting to kind of settle down into what he was going to do for a purpose in life. All right, does this fit? Does this fit anyone? Thank you for liking and sharing my live. I appreciate it. It doesn't look like anyone has claimed him just yet. So we will keep him on ice and come back to him. That's the way it goes. We always come back. I always get him claimed. All right, who we got, CJ?
How about Jen? I think it's Jennifer. Mom, Madeline.
Jen?
She just scrolled by you. Jennifer.
Jen, your mother, Madeline. Okay, so Miss Jen, how this works is you confirm or say no. I start describing the person that is stepping up, and you just let me know if it doesn't fit or if it does.
She said.
Okay, Jen, honestly, I would not be surprised if this is not your mom. but someone who is around you. I'm just getting that feeling as she is stepping up. She's showing me that she had some kind of female cancer. She's also showing me that she didn't always fit into society's rules. She is showing me that Harper Valley PTA song. You know, it was that mom who was trying to fit in, but she didn't really quite. Your mom had, she's showing me, been hurt very badly in a relationship. She's showing me it was a relationship, or this person is stepping up. I shouldn't say it's your mom until we've confirmed that. But she is showing me that she had very much put her all into this relationship, and then she had just kind of been left, and her respect had not been reciprocated. She's showing me that she liked to get herself done up and dressed. Back in the day, towards the end of her life, no. Okay, Miss Jen, does this fit your mom? Has Jen come through yet?
She hasn't confirmed anything yet.
Okay, Miss Jen, can you confirm if this is someone around you? Most of it. Okay, very good. Can she go live?
Jen is no.
Okay. I was gonna, people are like, don't pick me. You have to have.
She did not have cancer.
Okay. Did someone around her have cancer? And that was the part that when I said I would not be surprised this is not your mom, because that was the disconnect I was feeling. Was there someone, is she in spirit with someone who had female cancer? That is what I was feeling, and that is why I said I would not be surprised if this is not your mom, but someone who is around you, because I'm feeling that was a disconnect. There's someone around your mom in spirit who had female cancer. She said no one I can think of, so I'm tapping it to see the feeling I'm getting off of her. Your mom is giving me the sign of a best, like a good friend. It's a good friend over there with her who passed like that. But I will leave that to the side, and hopefully that resonates with you later. Your mom is talking about, you know, Jen, you were very much a friend to her. Yes, y'all had a mother-daughter relationship, but as y'all got older, as you both got older, you became more of a friend to her. And where you had, when you were younger, kind of judged your mom for some of the choices, as you got older, you began to understand where she was coming from, and y'all became much closer, and you actually ended up having a very sympathetic heart for some of the choices she had to make. She is also showing me there is some kind of, correct. Thank you, Jen, for confirming that. Jen, she's also showing me there is some kind of extra education or certification that you have been considering going after, and she wants to encourage you to do that. Your mom is saying, Jen, that you are very, very smart, but you do not give yourself credit for it. And she's also acknowledging the reason you don't give yourself credit for it is because early on in school, oh my gosh, yes, I need to renew my teacher certification. Okay, very good. Thank you for confirming that. She is showing me that early on you struggled a little bit in school, but it was not necessarily about your intelligence. It was about the environment that you were living in and your life being a little bit rocky and unstable. She is also showing me, I just saw that you said that you had to renew your teacher certification with your mom. That was what your mom was originally talking about. Now she's wanting me to take it farther. Not only are you needing to renew your teacher certification, she is showing me you specializing in something. There's some kind of special education that you want to get, special certification, special training that you want to get. And she's very much encouraging you to do that. She is acknowledging that someone here on earth who is still alive has some of her, just a couple of pieces of her jewelry. Again, okay, thank you for confirming, Jen. You have thought about it. So this is what I call a synchronicities. I always like it when I'm not the first one to mention it to someone. I always like it when I'm confirming something they've always already thought of. So Jen's mom was mentioning that she was thinking about specializing and getting a specialized training, and she said she had thought about it. So now that is a sign that her mom knew she was thinking about it, and she's coming through me to confirm it, to kind of push Jen in that direction. She's also saying, Jen, whatever this special certification is that you want to get is something that is very needed, and you're going to be very, very good at it. Like, a lot of people might be going for this certification, but you have a special heart for it and a special talent for it. She's also telling me to tell you to, yes, treat yourself. And when I confirm that more, there is something you've been thinking about doing for yourself that you've been holding back on because you don't want to spend the money on yourself. And your mom is saying that to stop putting everyone else first, that you've done that your entire life. You've been wanting a new bag. Very good. Get your new bag, honey. Your mom is saying it's okay. That you always put everyone else first. And every once in a great while, you will do something special for yourself. And it just gives your mom such joy to see you do that. All right. Thank you, Miss Jen. Thank you for letting me read your mom. She was beautiful. Wait a minute. She's not done. I was trying to move her along so I can get, she's not done. She is saying that the blinking lights you've been having have been her. Like when you go into a room and you've turned a light on, it kind of flickers and then comes on. She is acknowledging that that is her. Okay. All right, very good. Now she's leaving me. You can always tell when spirits aren't done. They're like, wait. They're very polite and they're very sweet about it. And I do want to acknowledge it. The spirit world today is doing a great job. Very sweet. Y'all are doing a really good job. All right. Oh, okay. It's spirit led. I'm going to go back to this T name I was getting, Travis. This is someone I brought through earlier. I'm just going to recap the information to see if his person is on this live yet. I'm getting a T name around him, like a Travis, Trent, something like that. He is showing me that he was in his late 20s to early 30s. I was actually getting at the age of 32 when he passed. And something significant right before he passed was him and a group of friends was on four-wheelers and they was drinking. He shouldn't have, and he shows me people trying to stop him. He's also letting me know that he left behind a child, but he is specifically showing me someone who is pregnant. He's also showing me that he was a very smart person and that he was just on his way to getting his goals in life accomplished. He had brown hair, a little bit on the thin side, and he was 5'11". All right, if this fits anyone, please put a yes in the comments. If not, I'm going to move it along. All right, I do connect with babies. Yes, I do. I had a small group the other day, and the first thing that came up was someone's baby. All right. I guess no one is going to, okay, someone said me. I guess they're wanting a reading. They're not grabbing the spirit, because if you grab the spirit, you should put a yes in the comments. All right, I'm going, it says the spirit led, so let's do it. This lady who is, I have a grandmother energy stepping up. She is showing me, I can just tell it's not about just the information I get from spirit. It is also about how they give it to me. So the way this lady is showing me that she had breast cancer tells me that she had a very eclectic personality. Not only did she have breast cancer, she had to have a mastectomy. So she had to have at least one of her breasts taken off. She is showing me that I was trying to, eclectic is the word that keeps coming up, but I was trying to get her to show me some things that she would just say anything. She was definitely one of, but in a sweet way. She wasn't mean about it. Absolutely not mean. She would just say exactly what came to her mind. And though she is showing me that she did attend church off and on, she was also one of these people that made the people in the church kind of roll their eyes, because she is someone who would be on people for saying, oh, you shouldn't be gay, you shouldn't be this. She'd be, really? How do you know? Did you talk? She would just be in their face about it. So she definitely marched to the beat of her own drum. She is showing me Witchy Woman. Is this your gram, Witchy Woman? I'm going to ask you to go live, Miss Witchy Woman. Let's see if she's doing it. Oh, let's see. Did she decline?
Is she playing? Or is she just asking if she wants her gram?
I don't know. Okay, if this is your grandmother, please. I thought it might be Witchy Woman. She said my gram, but maybe it's not hers. Maybe she just was saying that she wanted her gram. But anyway, if this fits you, please put a yes in the Oh, here she comes. Hi, Witchy Woman.
Hello,
Where are you? Where are you located?
Pennsylvania.
Very good. Now, this lady I'm describing fits your grandmother?
Yes, my grandmother just passed away of breast cancer really bad, and I was taking care of her for a while.
Okay, before you give me information, let me, she is showing me that she fought really hard and they thought she might live longer than she did. And then all of a sudden she went downhill. Does that resonate with you?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you for confirming that. She's also showing me, I don't know what she's talking about, so maybe you do. She's showing me being very thirsty. Like, was she constantly thirsty towards the end of her life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. She's showing me, I just feel parched all of a sudden, tapping into. She's also telling me that you have an extreme gift of clairvoyance. Do you know what clairvoyance is?
Yes, that's what I do. I also give readings.
Oh, okay, very good. And so clairvoyance is your main clair?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So for those of you watching, clairvoyance is clear vision and it is associated with the third eye. And this lady's grandmother was confirming that, and Witchy Woman did confirm that. That she also gives readings, and clairvoyance is her main gift. She is also telling me, Witchy Woman, do you do some kind of ceremonies? She's showing me like smoke come. I want to say sage, but I'm not convinced.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay. She's also talking about the divine feminine. Do these ceremonies have something to do with the divine feminine?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Have you been thinking about expanding that reach, these ceremonies or whatever you do with the divine feminine? Have you been thinking about expanding that?
Yes.
She is confirming that is absolutely the right track for you. Now, do you work with someone? Do you sometimes do these ceremonies with someone?
No, I actually just started, and I have a friend in Arizona that's like helping me because he's a shaman.
Very good. There is going to be someone who is going to want to, as you expand this and as you start doing more of those, who might want to partner with you. Your grandmother is asking you to be very careful about who you partner with. She's not talking about the shaman who's been helping you. She's not talking about that at all. She's talking about something that will happen in the future as this starts kicking off. You're going to turn it into a little business and someone's going to want to partner with you. And she's saying, be very careful who you put your name with.
I have been thinking about doing a business actually, but I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do.
Okay, very good. Yes, you should. As you start this business and it starts moving forward, there is a warning though, and I've had this happen. So just be careful. Like if someone wants to partner up with you and you have kind of a icky feeling in your stomach, make sure you do not partner with that person, even if it looks like they're perfect on the outside.
Right.
She's also telling me to start journaling more. Have you been journaling?
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Have you been hearing that you need to journal?
Yep.
And here you are hearing it again, right?
I have a whole room that is filled with that's where I do personal readings. Plus I work online, but like when people come here, I have a whole room of everything. I just haven't been in there lately.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. Well, thank you so much for letting me read your grandmother. It was such an honor, and good luck on your business.
Did she have a message for my mother?
Hold
Her
on.
and my mother didn't see eye to eye too well.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Let me retap.
And there's family drama with the
Okay.
other sister.
Okay. So now what she is saying is that your mom, like, she loves your mom. So what I'm saying has nothing to do with her feelings, but sometimes your mom has an idea in her head of how she thinks
And
people should.
sticks with it.
Yes. And your grandmother did not always fit your mom's version of what she wanted her mom to be.
Right. And my mother has regrets and of her because my mother was promised her dad's class ring for years and she still doesn't have it and she thinks someone in a family got it. So she's really upset to this day, even though my grandmother's passed.
I would agree that someone else in the family got it. I would absolutely agree with that.
That's what we figured.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Your, but your grandmother is saying psh, like psh, pshaw, something like that. That it doesn't matter. That all those are material goods, and in the end, they don't matter. I
Right.
understand. I'm still on this earth. I get it. I would be ticked off too. Your mom, has your mom been having some health concerns that she's not 100% addressing?
Yeah, well, she has arthritis, osteo, she has all that, but she has stomach problems too. And I think it's because, well, she's not really a medication person, but she was just put on cholesterol medicine and it just done her in. So she's going off of it.
Mm-hmm. Your grandmother is very much acknowledging that your mom does, and I'm not saying I have cancer and I don't, I'm not a huge fan of, even though I do take a lot of medications, I'm not a fan of them. So she understands that in your mom, but she is saying to at least get control of it, and she's showing me herbs. So your mom does need to get control of that in another manner. Specifically, her stomach is a bigger issue than what
Yep,
she.
I'm the one that talks about the herbs because I'm all about the herbs. I don't do medicine.
Yeah. So your
No.
mom's stomach is a bigger issue than the other stuff. She really needs.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
All right. I appreciate her coming online real quick. Let me recap this dude. Travis Trent, he's in his late 20s to early 30s. I'm actually hearing 32. But if you knew someone who was like a Trent or a Trey, something like that, and the other information fits, then we'll go with it. He is showing me that significant event before his passing was him and some buddies were on a four-wheeler. They were out on some land that belonged to one of them. He got on a four-wheeler. He should not have because he had been drinking. He also is telling me that he left a child behind, but he's specifically showing me someone pregnant, so I'm not sure if that was a second child or if it's the child he's showing me that he left behind. He showed me that he was very smart and he was just in the middle of starting his life goals of what he was going to do with his life. If my Terry has a son, okay, Prissy Missy, does the rest of this fit your son though? All the information needs to fit. If everything, yeah, okay. Real quick, as I'm waiting to hear if someone is going to claim this person, I will never ever message anyone for a reading, and no legitimate medium will. The only way to get a personal reading from me is to, on my website, Christy Godwin Psychic Medium. You just click on book a reading, a calendar opens up, you choose the date and time, you automatically get a Zoom link, you get another Zoom link 3 days before, the day before, and then an hour before, so you get constant reminders. I did just open up because we were going to be doing some traveling, which now we're not doing, so I did just open, well, we're doing part of it, but not this original trip, so I did just open up some extra days on my calendar if anyone is looking for a reading. All right, so it doesn't look like people are
She only said my son's dad, Terry, just passed. That's all she's said.
okay, so someone said their son's dad, Terry, yes, just passed.
She responded with the same message.
So, Prissy Missy, can you confirm, does the rest of it make sense? I'm going to move on. If it does, type a yes in the comments. My moderator will be looking for that, and then we'll circle back after I do this. Yes. Okay. Okay, let's see. Prissy Missy. Oh my goodness, Prissy Missy, you were so close. You have to have 1,000 followers to go live, and Prissy Missy has 898. So close. She'd be on this screen with me. All right. So let's see what this dude is saying. So this is your son's father. First of all, he is acknowledging just how incredibly handsome your child is. And at first I wasn't going to bring that forward, but he wouldn't move fast. Sometimes Spirit will give you information, or at least for me, but I let them. Just so you know, when I say Spirit won't let me, it means I'm letting them control it because it means something. If they give me information and won't let me move past it, it's because, no, you have to say it. Everyone says they're twins. Okay, very good. So I was like, oh, so your son is handsome. And he's like, yes, like I am too. He's telling me, I feel funny calling you Prissy Missy, but that's what you were on there. So here we go. What a good job you did with him. Your son is a very empathetic person. Yes, he is the guy's guy. He can hang with, but he is very empathetic, and he can take on, he feels very deeply. And what a good job you did managing that. Now, Prissy Missy, he's also showing me something about your job. He does. Yes, very good. If someone has not recently taken credit for your work, someone is going to in the near future. And not completely take your project and say, hey, I did this, but kind of in an underhanded, okay, so what is, you're a stay-at-home mom, what is this, do you know that he's talking about? Do you volunteer somewhere? Do you have a project that you're working on with someone? Because just because you don't work outside the home doesn't mean you don't do some of those components as in a volunteer position. Even when I was a stay-at-home mom, I still did a ton of volunteer work and was in charge of projects. He is showing me you working on something and someone kind of taking it and making it their own. I'm not sure if that resonates with you or if you know what he's talking about. He is telling me to have a cup of coffee for him. So there you go. Have a cup of coffee for him. Brittany Noel, thank you. I see that you just shared my live with more than 10 friends. I so appreciate you. I appreciate that so much. It helps me in the algorithm so much. Okay.
She says she's been trying to get her new house set up.
Her what set up?
New house.
Oh, her new house set up. Okay. Very good. Very good. He is showing me, I was like, what information does she need to know about this? He shows me you putting your foot down, but in a nice way. He's telling me that sometimes you just let other people have their way to keep the peace, but there is something going on that you're kind of butting heads with someone, and he's showing me you putting your foot down to make sure that it's done your way. He's also saying how proud he is, hello Cece, of where you've come in life, because life really knocked you down. And that's not in a bad way. We all get our butts kicked on this earth, but you just popped right back up. You just popped right back up. And he's showing me how proud he is of you, that not only do you always pop back up, you always pop back up with a new, you've been sober for 9 years. Very good. Congratulations. You pop back up with a newfound sense of who you are. He is showing me that you need to start writing. You actually need to start a blog. Do you blog on TikTok? Your story is powerful, Prissy Missy. I know that you think it as just it's my life, I'm just living it, it is what it is, but your story and where you've come from, used to journal, is powerful. You need to go back to doing that. You also need to put your information out for public consumption, whether you do that on a blog, whether you do that like some people will create these blogs kind of on TikTok, kind of walking through their story. Please do that. Your story is so powerful. Your dad is saying it can make, or your son's dad is saying that it can make such a difference in the lives of other people. You've also done a really good job, Chrissy Missy, of we all do things in our past where we feel guilt over. And we all have this past that we feel guilty over. It's like, do you reside in that or not? Because if you do, you're giving your power away to the past. And you do an excellent job, Chrissy Missy, of acknowledging you had a past, acknowledging that you wish you had done some things wrong, but then coming forward and not living in that guilt, but making it propel you to a better place in this life. And your son's dad is acknowledging just how powerful that is. Please start talking about it. Please start blogging about it. I feel like this gentleman is saying that you can really make a difference in the lives of others. Thank you so much for letting me read him, Chrissy Missy. I appreciate it. All right. Who do we have now?
How about Andrea? Her mama, Pam.
All right, Andrea. I'm about to pull up your mom, Pam.
Let's make sure she's here.
Pam, are you still here? If you are, just listen up.
They may come across custom sweet treats, something.
All right. So if you're listening, Pam, confirm or deny the information I am about to bring forward. Real quick, I do want to confirm I will never private message someone for a reading. I had someone actually on Instagram private message me for a reading. I was like, are you kidding me right now? And even when I said have some ethics and stop doing this, and they kept pushing me. So I realized that those people can be very pushy. Just know that no legitimate medium is going to message you. The only place you can book a reading with me is on my website, Christy Godwin Psychic Medium. And I will usually have some kind of event, something going on. So you can pop over to my events, see what I have going on. Sometimes they're free. No, you cannot buy readings on the live. Sorry, Miss Caitlin, but you can get one. I just opened up some appointments on my calendar because I was traveling and now I'm not. So you can get in pretty quickly. Christy Godwin Psychic Medium. I opened up a couple of days, I think. All right.
She just rolled across, but she was asking the same thing she did. Say, hey, I'm here.
Okay. Miss Andrea, your mom, Pam.
Custom sweet treats.
Miss Andrea, would you have known your mom to be a victim of domestic violence in her lifetime?
There she is. She's recognized.
I'm going to start off right there. If that is part of your mom's history, then I'm going to ask you to go live. It's a little bit solemn. Yes. Oh, that's Teresa.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Custom Sweet Treats, who is also Andrea. Was your mom a victim of domestic violence? She's also showing me she was a smoker early on, and she smoked in the house. Not towards the end of her life, but during the time where she was struggling, going through this domestic violence situation, she smoked in the house. She's also showing me that she put, okay, very good. Okay, I'm going to ask you to go live, Custom Sweet Treats.
And you asked 2 questions. I don't know which yes that is.
See if she's going to go live with me.
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing well. So where are you located?
I am in South Carolina.
South Carolina. I've never been there. I want to go. All right. So now we were bringing up your mom, whose name was Pam, and you did acknowledge that she was a victim of domestic violence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I saw the yes, and I had just asked the second question. Back in the day, do you remember her smoking in the house?
Yes, ma'am, she did.
Okay, very good. I didn't, because I saw her sitting there in a robe and she's smoking, and I was like, oh, she was a smoker. But then she put up her arms and did this. I was like, oh, she's in the house smoking. She's right. That is very different than just being a smoker. she's acknowledging that she smoked for a bit of her life and she had kind of that smoker's voice. Would you know that to be true?
Yes.
Okay, very good. She's also telling me that some people around her, and part of the domestic violence issue was alcohol. Would you also know that to be true?
Yes.
Okay, very good. She is acknowledging that you're a scrappy little thing, and a lot of people don't know that about you, Andrea. That you are just a beautiful, beautiful, bright light on this earth, and how much she appreciates you being that way. But you also have this side of you that is very scrappy and won't take any crap off of people. So instead of your history kind of defining you and bringing you down, you made the choice to not be taken advantage of like your mom. Would you know that to be true?
Yes.
Your mom
For
is very
sure.
Your mom is very proud of that. She's also not making an excuse. She's acknowledging that she should have gotten you out of that situation because you witnessed some things a child should not witness. She is also saying you have children yourself.
I do.
You have 3.
I do.
Okay, very good. She's talking about one of your sons. You have a son?
I do.
Just one or more than one?
Just one.
Okay. The reason I asked that for everyone watching, because her mom is referencing a son. If she had more than son, we were going to have to figure out which one it was. Now, has your son had some struggles of his own?
He has. He has had some.
He is starting to pull himself out of those struggles. Have you noticed that or witnessed that?
Absolutely.
She is very proud of the inner strength it has taken. And she is saying that you have actually handled that situation perfectly. You were hard when you needed to be hard and caring when you needed to be caring. And do not ever second guess your reactions to your son during that time. You handled it perfectly. And to have no guilt that this was part of his path. Now, do you also have grandchildren?
I do.
She is one of those grandchildren belong to
Belongs to my daughter.
your daughter. Now, your son doesn't have any children?
He has a bonus child.
Okay, very good. I was about to say, could you tell? I was like, wait a minute. I'm feeling a child around that son. Okay, very good. Your mom is acknowledging that and just how good he is. Now, I do feel a child coming your son's way that is his own in addition to the bonus child.
That's amazing.
He's
He's
going to
been
be
hoping for that.
He's going to be a very good dad. And I already feel, whether he has talked about names or not, whatever child he has is going to have a family name component. And I'm not talking about the last name. I'm talking, it looks like the middle name. Something about a middle name is going to be carried down for his child. Now, you have a business. I see that you are Custom Sweet Treats on here.
I do. I have a small business.
Have you been thinking about expanding that business, adding something to it that you don't currently have?
I've been thinking about it, yeah.
I'm hearing to do that before Christmas time. So whatever you're thinking about offering is something that would fit well around the Christmas time area. So I'm hearing you, like, I see you gearing up, and so it's ready to kick off around Christmas time. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, there's an event that I'm looking at.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, it's your sign from your mom. She said to do it.
Right.
Thank you for letting me read your mom today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Okay, of course. Have a good day.
Bye.
All right, these spirits are just kicking butt today. As everyone joining will notice, that I always make spirits, of course, prove who they are. Just because you want me to bring up a certain person, I describe them and you have to confirm it. And then they all give me information not only to have confirmed who they are, but to prove that they are around you. So now, if y'all will see, Andrea's mom told me she had 3 kids. And when I was saying, oh, your son has a child, she was saying, no. I was like, this doesn't feel right. And Andrea said, oh, he has a bonus child that would come through like a child. And so spirits will also give information to prove that they are around you. I don't let spirits step up and say, hey, tell them I'm around them. They have to prove it. All right. I want to thank everyone who is sharing and liking my live. It very much helps me in the algorithm. I so appreciate it. Also, I will never message you for an appointment. The only way to make an appointment is on my website at Christy Godwin Psychic Medium. The link is in the bio. Is it my turn? Well, you gave me Andrea, didn't you? Okay, very good. Okay. Okay, I had to tap for a second because this lady is stepping up and I instantly heard sister-in-law, and I just know my readings well enough to know a spirit is not usually that specific. The second they step up with saying sister-in-law, usually I get a little more information before they just step forward with sister-in-law. So we have a sister-in-law energy stepping up. There is an H name around her, though I do not feel like it is her name. I feel like it's someone around her. She is acknowledging that she is sister-in-law, but her husband's family enveloped her. They kind of brought her in. So he was sister to her husband's siblings, and his parents treated her like one of their own. She is very much acknowledging that she had an illness where she went downhill. And the entire family, it wasn't just her husband that was heartbroken. The entire family was just so heartbroken to lose this bright light. She is saying that her illness was not caught right away. She had been sick for a while and kind of blowing it off. And then she went to the doctor and they found out she was a lot sicker than what they thought. She is also telling me that she liked margaritas. I was like, why are we going into a Mexican restaurant? Oh, I see a Haley, but she's looking for her father, Michael. Because I heard, when I said I'm hearing an H name, it sounded like Haley, but Haley is looking for her dad, not a sister-in-law. Okay. So I have an H name. It does sound like Hallie or Haley, something like that. And I'm hearing the word sister-in-law. She is telling me that she had a illness where she went downhill. The illness wasn't caught until later because she didn't go to the hospital until later. She's also showing me she did have children and she was able to celebrate a birthday with one of her kids shortly before she passed. And she really had to dig deep to find the strength to be able to celebrate this birthday with her kid. Oh yes, and she does like margaritas. Okay, does this fit anyone? If it does, please put a yes in the comments. Okay, looks like no one's claiming her just yet. So it'll be like the T name earlier. We'll just put them on ice and eventually they'll get claimed. They always do. Hello everyone. So glad to see everyone on my live today. I so appreciate you. Real quick, I do want to say a couple of things. Haley, you don't have a sister-in-law in spirit? Because every time I keep being drawn to your name. So I will never private message anyone for a reading, and make sure y'all don't get scammed like that. That is just, I hate that when I wake up to messages that people have used my name to try to get money from other people. Sister-in-law, H name, margaritas. Oh, looks like we're with Amy K here. Amy K. All right. See, I knew I was stalling for a minute because I just felt like someone was about to claim her. H name, margaritas. All right. I think we're with you, Amy K. Okay, Miss Amy Kay, would you have known your family to have enveloped your sister-in-law like one of their own? I was just naming what you. Oh, you were just naming what you said for other people. I thought Amy Kay had claimed her. Nope, she was just She was just helping girl out. She's just helping me out. Okay. Also, I want everyone to know on here that Wednesday, for the next 3 Wednesdays, Iris, Libby, Ask Iris, Libby, and I are doing this workshop. You can come for one Wednesday or all of them. It's free. You do have to go to my website to register. And it's about releasing triggers. And what is a trigger? Trigger is something, real quick, I'm going to try to make this quick. Our brain stores traumatic memories differently than they store regular memories. So if you had a parent that every time they came home, they hit the door screaming and yelling, that memory is stored in your prefrontal cortex. So it's not stored like a normal memory. So let's just say that before your parent would come in the door screaming and yelling, you could hear the garage door going up and going down. So now you live at home, by yourself, you have no one coming home and screaming and yelling, but let's say your spouse comes home every day, and when they come home, you can hear the garage door go up, and instantly you are triggered because the sound of that garage door puts you back to the emotional component of your parent coming home and screaming and yelling. That is a trigger. So to better function in this world and the now, we are talking about releasing triggers. Oh, Yellow Butterfly. She says, now I know why I stayed on.
Show up on Wednesday.
This is, yeah, go to my website, register. It's Christy Godwin Psychic Medium under the event section. And the only reason you're registering is so that you can get the Zoom link for the meeting. You can come for one Wednesday or come from them all. And so Ask Iris, Libby and I really developed this system of asking, it's about 8 questions to start releasing those triggers. So come join us, see what you think about it. We'd love to hear your feedback and love to see you there. All right, so who do we have? Is it?
How about Jesse, Grandpa Harris?
Ooh, Jesse? Grandpa Harris, right, you said? Okay, Jesse. So make sure you are, oh, well, welcome, Mariah. I appreciate you being drawn here. That's people telling you need to be here. It's your people in spirit. I just put call to stay on. Of course. I'm so glad you did. Okay. So Jesse, Grandpa Harris, confirm or deny the information. If it is your person, say yes. If it isn't, say no. We'll find out who it belongs to. Okay. Grandpa Harris is showing me that he grew up in a pretty small town, and people in this town knew your family. He's also showing me he was a leader in the local church. I would have called him a deacon, but before I could get those words out of my mouth, he stopped me. So though he might not have been an official deacon, he definitely had a role in the local church that was, I'm sorry, someone said Travis, and it got me sidetracked because we had that Travis earlier. Okay. He is also showing me that small town for sure, and we are all very well known.
That's right.
She doesn't have enough. I was about to check and see. My moderator knew I was going to have you go live. Okay, very good. So she has confirmed that they come from a small town. Their family is very well known. Your grandfather is also telling me that he was a leader not only in the local church, he was a leader in the town. You're bawling anyway. Aww. Whenever you go for a reading and you start, these readings are free. The only place you can pay for a reading is on my website, Christy Godwin Psychic Medium. Please let the tears flow. There's no reason to hold them back. They're cleansing tears. He is also showing me your grandfather was the patriarch of the family, and when he passed, the family kind of fractured a little bit. Y'all are in the process of building. Jess said that she's done a reading with me before and it was amazing. Thank you, Jess. He is showing me that the family was fractured, but recently y'all been trying to build those bridges and bring it back. He is also showing me, Jess, that you talk to yourself a lot. I was like, he shows me you walking around the house just talking. And he is laughing because you talk to yourself, plus you talk to your past loved ones, and it is an acknowledgement from your grandfather that he can still hear y'all. Also, he is showing me, Jess, that you have some kind of camera system around your house, whether it's a Ring doorbell or a security system, and he is the orbs on those pictures. He's also showing me get everyone back together, and yes, I talked to my past loved ones. So she is confirming that she has been trying to get everyone back together. So in a spirit, her grandfather had just said that after he passed, the family had kind of fractured, and there was someone in the family trying to get them back together. Jess acknowledged that is her. So when a spirit mentions that, it is a sign they are around them and they see what's going on. Also, one step further, Jess, is he wants to acknowledge how proud he is of you for doing that. And he's also showing me there is a female cousin for you to partner with and try to get a small family get together, because it's like one side of the family you can kind of rally, and then your cousin can get another part of the family, and the two of you get along well enough to be able to put this on. So he's acknowledged to partner with your cousin to get that going. He's also saying that when you smell, and for everyone watching, so he's already acknowledged that he is the orbs in her cameras. He's also showing me that he uses clairalliance to acknowledge that he is around you. Clairalliance is clear smell. There is a smell you associate with your grandfather. It is a mixture of, I want to say, okay. He is acknowledging that it's like leather and Old Spice or Aramis, one of those old man colognes, and leather. But it's like this combination of smells. And when you walk into a room and you smell that, just acknowledge that it is your grandfather. He is saying that he appeared to you. You have his glasses in a leather case, and I smell them all the time. Very good. Absolutely. That's why I was smelling that leather component, because she is saying that she has his glasses in a leather case and she smells them all the time. So I knew I was smelling leather associated with him. He is saying that right when he passed, he appeared to you. So I want you to think back to, you said that you didn't make it to his passing, but I want you to think back to that moment, and you're on your way to see him. You didn't quite make it there. Something happened, because I see you being kind of distracted, and you sit up and you have this instant thought of Grandpa. If you can remember that moment, please put it in the chat, and that is an acknowledgement that he came to see you right when he passed. There is no guilt. There is no guilt about that. All right. Thank you, Miss Jess, for letting me read your grandfather. I appreciate it. I also appreciate everyone who is liking and sharing my live. We were all sick, and I knew it was going to happen, so we couldn't make it. Yes, very good. All right, y'all want to do some psychic? Y'all got your questions ready? I've been seeing some coming through. Y'all have some questions. So psychic is when I read the energy of a situation. Psychic is never 100%, because you have the ability to change your energy and the energy of a situation. It's called free will. So pop your questions in. Let's see what we got going on. Mariah, am I going to land the big job soon? I do feel you landing a job soon. Should I stay, Laura, should I stay with my boyfriend? Okay. Just the fact that you have to ask me that tells me that you've been getting messages and feelings from your relatives on the other side telling you that, is he who he says he is? Is he respecting me? Is he cherishing me? Pay attention to those. Amy K, will we sell our house next year? Do you not have it on the market now? I'm feeling you're selling it this year. Like the end of the year into the January of next year. So do you have it on the market now? Because I'm feeling it's selling quicker than what I was envisioning. All right, let's see. Relationship. I think it's just an I, the letter I. Should I stay or go? I want to, anyone who is asking me that question, should I stay with my boyfriend? Should I stay or go? If you were secure in your relationship, you wouldn't be asking me that question. So I would say 99.9% of the time when people are getting that push, a lot of the times it is spirit saying, hey, you know, have you thought about this? There's the red flags going off that you're not paying attention to. Haley, is the guy I'm with right now a healthy match for me? I actually do feel he is. I feel that, Haley, you have brought some, and we all have baggage, but you've kind of brought some things from other relationships into this relationship, and you're judging him against those, and you kind of need to let him go. All right. Ooh, Alicia, am I going to be a grandma again? Oh, I don't feel that. Let's see. Terry, will my son be okay? That is a very broad term. So if you want to pop in and be more specific, I will answer a more specific question. I do feel him being okay, but I don't feel like I think there's something else, like there's more detail you want with that question. Cherie, I need a career change. What should I do? Again, very broad. If you want specific answers, please be more specific in your questions, because when you ask me a question like that, that calls for a lot more time than when I devote to just one person on a live. But what I'm hearing is I see you taking a step back and taking your blinders off and looking around you and start asking friends. There is a friend connection that's going to lead you to your next career, Cherie. Kaylee, was buying this new house the right move? Well, I'm thinking that if you had asked me that before you bought it, I would have heard wait. But once you've already done something, there is no reason to look back and feel guilty about it. You just take what you have and move forward. Like, do you need to do something to the house and sell it so that you're out from under that huge mortgage? Do you need to make another move? Do you need to get maybe rent out on? Oh, I'm hearing rent out part of it, but that's what I'm hearing. All right. Let's see. Mel, will I keep financial stability? I do feel you keeping financial stability. I do see that you are going to be kind of topsy-turvy, but I do see you keeping stability. You just have to be very careful about where you spend your money. KJ, will my new job be good for me? I love the way she answered this. Yes, overall, I feel it being good for you. Now, will it be good for you mentally? Yes. Will it be good for you financially? Yes. I'm feeling that the company that you are currently with allows for movement. It allows you to learn one job and move on, and learn that job and move on. And so I feel like you're going to have some movements within this job. Gloria, will I get through this financial mess you're in? Gloria, what I hear from Spirit is that you have always gotten through every mess you have been in. And I see you very much like shuffling bills and doing this and doing that. I'm hearing it's going to take 7 to 8 months for you to really, if you put your mind to it and really pay attention to where your finances are going, to I'm sorry, Spirit was telling me something in regards to this, to dig yourself out. You know, recently, every once in a while, my husband and I will go through the finances, like, okay, what are we doing that we don't really need to be doing? And so recently we noticed that we really weren't taking advantage of some, like our gym membership. Do I work out? Yes, but I mostly work out at home, and we've had this gym membership forever, and we just really hadn't been utilizing it, so we cut that off. So that's what I'm seeing, is you going back through and saying, okay, what do I really utilize? What can I get rid of? Also, I'm hearing incidentals. I used to be a financial planner, and people don't realize how much little stopping here and stopping there and grabbing a soda instead of buying sodas at the refrigerator, or stopping and having lunch even in a fast food place, that can add up quickly. So I'm seeing those types of things. All right. Oh, I might answer this one. Someone, I didn't see who it was, but someone asked, does Trenton want to be with me? I'm hearing that Trenton is very much someone who is not with people he does not want to be with. Now, that doesn't mean that he's bringing to the relationship what you need him to bring. But I'm hearing that Trenton, he doesn't stay with people that he doesn't want to be with. So if he's with you, that says something. However, you don't have good communication. And communication is tough. So make sure that you are really talking about how you feel. And what I'm hearing is, again, come Wednesdays, but am I talking about this is Wednesday? I don't think I'm talking about this. This Wednesday, I'm talking about how past lives, when your mom's pregnant with you, after birth, during birth, how you can gather trauma during those times. But what I'm hearing is that when you ask Trenton or he asks you how you're doing, you say fine. Or you say, yeah, I'm a little bit down or sad. That's sad is one word with a lot of meanings under it. So I'm hearing be more precise in communicating your emotions and how you feel. All right. Thank you so much for the psychic. We're going to move back to the mediumship. Okay. Real quick, I don't always do babies. I'm getting that there is a baby coming through from Spirit. He was a boy. He is showing me that he was born with a birth defect, and he spent, if he came home, it was just for a few days. He spent most of his life in the ICU, in the NICU. I'm hearing, or no, he's showing me, I shouldn't say hearing. I'm seeing a headstone with an angel on it. Because he kept saying angel baby, and I wouldn't take it because all babies that cross over like that are angel babies. But then he showed me an angel on his headstone. He is showing me that his mom, like his nursery, everything was already set up for him. I'm also hearing he wasn't expected to pass. Like some people will know from an ultrasound or other testing that their baby probably is not going to make it when they're born. This child is telling me that his family was surprised. They knew something little was going to be wrong with him, but they did not expect him to pass. Okay, so does this sound familiar to anyone? I feel like his mom is on here. And his mom has gone to have other kids. So I have a son here. His mom is on here. He is showing me that he was born and he did have a birth defect, but they weren't expecting him to pass from this birth defect, that he spent most of his life in NICU. He is showing me a headstone with angel wings on it. Okay, I don't see anyone claiming. Yes, so sorry. I do not see anyone claiming him just yet. Thank you for the heart. Thank you. Okay, we'll come back to him. I'm quite certain someone will claim him. All right, who we got?
How about Britt, fiance Trey?
Okay, Britt, fiance Trey. Okay, well, someone said on here, no, he passed on birth. Do you know what that? I'm sure she meant at birth. Do you know?
This is the first Judd loves to. That's the first Judd loves to craft. It's the first time I've seen that.
Okay, Judd loves to craft. You said something about, yes, he passed at birth or something like that. If this child fits you, I will come back to you. I'm about to read Britt, her fiance Trey. Sarah, I appreciate Sarah you trying to pay for a reading. I so appreciate that, but I only take money on my website. It just cuts down on so much, scamming. So if you want a reading, I did just open up some recent readings. I actually have one tomorrow there is if you go to my website, there is a reading for tomorrow. It's called a last minute appointment. You have to go to the events section. Otherwise, can someone share website? My moderator said he just put it in. It's Christy Godwin Psychic Medium, or you can go to my bio on this and click the link and it will take you right there. I have a last minute reading for tomorrow. Usually I'll open up a couple of last minute readings every week. And then I'll also open a couple of days later in the month. Okay. So Miss Britt, are you still on here? Trey is stepping up, and Trey was a fun-loving kid. He was a man. He is saying that okay, very good. All right, I haven't even confirmed who I have. I'm gonna ask Britt to go live. Don't even know if I have your man here, Britt. But here we go. Hi, Britt. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Where are you located?
I'm in Kentucky.
Very good. And that's where your fiance was from?
Yes.
Very good, because I'm feeling this kid. I keep saying kid. He was a grown man. I do know that, but I'm feeling good old Southern boy energy coming off of him.
Yes.
Now, he is showing me that he had not been feeling well before he passed, but he passed suddenly. Does that make sense to you? Okay. He is showing me. Did he wear a lot of boots?
He did.
Okay, very good. And they never looked new. Like these boots, even if they were new, they didn't look new.
Yeah, they did not. No.
Okay, very good. Because he kept I'll mention his boots, and usually once I mention something, spirits move on from it, but he kept sticking them in my face. I was like, what are we talking about? And he's patting them, and dust is flying off of them. Like,
Oh, yes. Yep.
And he was also very partial to belts. Would you have known him to wear belts a lot?
Yes.
Do you have some of his belts?
I don't have a belt. I think I gave his belts to another family member, but I have a lot of his clothing.
Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to tap because he is specifically showing me a belt. So let me see what he is talking about that. He's showing me a specific belt, and so let's break this down. A specific belt with a larger buckle on it. Do you know what he's referencing?
Yes. I know that belt, and I'll be honest, that belt might be here. I've gotten too far into the grief that I've been unable to go through even his dirty clothes. They're still dirty in the dirty hamper.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now for those of you watching, that what just happened is he wouldn't let go of this belt situation, so it's like, show me specifically, and he's showing me a belt with a buckle on it. And so now Britt has said that she's actually not sure if it's in her house or not. So Britt, when you get back to going through those clothes, what will happen, and Spirit does this, is they bring up something you're going to come across, so that a moment that would normally send you to your knees is going to make you smile.
Good. I need that.
Because this, for whatever reason, this belt with this buckle is like a signature thing that you remembered him wearing all the time.
Yes.
And so coming across that will be something, like I said, would normally just take your knees out from under you. The grief would be overwhelming, but Spirit will bring it up so that you will, yes, there will still be sadness, but also it will be the beauty of, he knew that you were going to come across it, so he was bringing it forward to give you a little bit of comfort.
Absolutely.
Now, he's talking about, was he cremated?
He was not.
Why am I seeing ashes? Is there someone in spirit with him who was cremated?
I don't know.
Okay, let's not make this fit, but I'm gonna.
Okay.
He is showing me a grandfather.
Okay.
Yours or his?
Could be his. Both of my grandfathers were not cremated.
Okay. Did your fiance have part of a name of someone who's in spirit?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. That's
exactly who I was thinking was cremated.
Okay, very good. That's who it is. So again, this is exactly the way spirit works. He was showing me, he was referencing someone who he's with in spirit who was cremated. You weren't sure. I asked spirit to give me something else, and he confirmed it was the person who he has part of their name.
Okay.
So now, why is he doing that? I asked him, why are you showing me these other people? Because he's saying, Britt, that you have frequently wondered what his days are like in heaven. What does he do? Who is he with? Who met him? And it's part of him confirming that he is with his grandfather.
Okay.
Also, Britt, did you ever have a miscarriage or abortion?
We did.
Yes, because he's saying he has the baby.
Ah.
I just want to say that your fiance was primed and ready. He's bringing through some really good information. So that tells me that he was ready, like waiting for his turn to step up.
Good.
And so I wonder, because he was someone my moderator chose, I don't pay attention, so I'm wondering what he did to grab my moderator. Oh, he said that you've been on here since the beginning, so.
Yes.
Yes. He is telling you, like, you have almost been chiding yourself, Brittany, because you are a person you're a go-getter. You're constantly going, you're constantly moving forward, and constantly accomplishing things in life.
Yes.
And you're trying to give yourself grace. You're trying to tell yourself it's okay to not be in that space right now. But then on the flip side, you start chiding yourself for not being in that space. Does that resonate with you?
Exactly on point. Yes.
Yes. So him acknowledging that is doing two things, showing that he is around you. Also, he wants to know to give yourself time. Give yourself time to move through this. And that you will never, which I'm sure you're aware of, will never be the same person.
Right.
But you will be able to get up and breathe normally again.
Yeah, it's been so paralyzing that I've not been able to go to work, but now it's been a year and a half, and I don't know. I can't seem to pull myself out, and I try, but I can't.
Mm-hmm. I know this is, don't worry about you can't, because you will. And sometimes it takes people 6 months, and sometimes it takes people 5 years. And there's not a right or a wrong to it.
Thank you.
Also, I'm hearing that, do you believe in past lives?
I do.
Okay. If I ever say something to not only you, but anyone listening to my live that doesn't fit with your belief system, just please let it go. I'm not here to change anyone. But from the time you met your fiance, y'all had a very deep, instantaneous connection.
We did.
And it's because y'all had spent many past lives together. So I'm almost seeing you, when you meet him and y'all are introduced, you're like, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you. It's like you had spent your entire lifetime on this planet looking for him.
Yep, and I knew.
Yes,
I
and though you
knew.
weren't consciously looking for him, your subconscious was looking for him.
Yeah.
So when you have that kind of relationship and that kind of instantaneous connection, it is hard to get over. It is hard to go on with your life. It is hard to and just for everyone listening, we are not all meant to have that kind of connection. We are not all meant to be with our soulmates in every lifetime. Because I know the next question is going to be from all these people, Britt, when am I going to meet my person like that? We're not all meant to meet people. We're not all meant to spend our lives with our soulmates. And let me tell you, it can be a blessing and a curse, because when you are with someone that you have that kind of connection and then they leave, it's just, the grief is incomprehensible.
Yes.
It rallies that of losing a child. I will say that. And as we all know, losing a child, there's nothing.
Oh yes, absolutely. People ask me which one is harder, and I haven't lost any of my parents yet, so I can't even compare that. But I've lost a child, and now I've lost my fiance, and I do not want to experience the others, but it's the worst pain ever.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to remind yourself to breathe. And I will say that not losing parents, yes, is debilitating. Yes, it's hard, but it's a natural course of action to lose parents. You know, even though we might not want to, we know that if things work out the way they should, we're supposed to bury our parents.
Sure.
So yes, it's unbearably hurtful, but there is, you know, it's the way life is supposed to be.
Yes.
He's also telling you now. There is something of his that you smell.
Yes. Every day, all day, all kinds of things.
An acknowledgement that he is around you and he sees you doing that. He is also telling me to tell you to ground, which I said, well, and I was trying to getting her to do yoga or something, but he's saying, no, you need to be out in nature. Nature really speaks to you. You need to be out in nature, and that is going to be part of your healing process.
Okay. I believe that.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry. Thank you for joining my live today. Thank you for going live with me.
Thank you for having me very much.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
If you're interested, there Wednesday nights there is a group of us who get together. I think I was telling you, and we work through
Yes.
triggers. And you don't have to. Some people will show up and not even show their face or their name, and they don't want to. They just want the information. Please join us. You might.
I'm absolutely going to do. I was actually telling my sister, I brought her in to watch with me, and I told her we need to sign up for this on Wednesday. So that's what we're going to do now is go sign up.
All right, perfect. I'll be glad to see you there.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much.
Of course. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, her fiance did an excellent job with his information and him being able to confirm who he was and show that he was around her. All right, so I have a baby in spirit that hasn't been claimed yet. It is a son. He's showing me that he was born with a birth defect, and though everyone knew that he was going to have something wrong with him when he was born, they didn't expect him to pass so quickly. He spent all of his life in the NICU. And he is showing me that he was actually buried, not cremated. He was buried, and he is showing me on his headstone there is an angel carved on it. So if he fits anyone, please pop on here and say he is mine. Okay, you chose that, didn't you?
Yes, but do you have a question? Your website showed that there was an appointment available tomorrow or today. Not tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like it was taken. Does that jive with what you think?
Okay, let me see real quick. My moderator has asked me a question about my
Because we have an appointment at 1 o'clock. You might want to know that.
website. Let's see. Okay, so I'm on my website, and let me go to, so how my website works, my last minute appointments are kind of odd.
You have to go to your
Okay, so the Saturday one is already passed. But if you go to events, so if you click on the very top one that says events, you scroll down. So on the events section, let me show y'all my website just so in case anyone. Okay, so that's what it looks like. You see, that's the event section. And so that is Fort Calhoun. This is the August 26th appointment, which was today. And this is the August 27th appointment, which is tomorrow. That one is still available. So if you click book now, it takes you through. It says last minute weekend appointment, which is a 30-minute appointment. And it says that there's 21 hours, 17 minutes, and 54 seconds. And you say book me, and then you go through there.
You answered their question.
I answered their question.
You answered their question. Now I do.
Very good. All right. So has anyone claimed that baby?
I would say yes.
Okay. And that event section where I just was also where you register for the steps to enlightenment. Yes.
Tiff 381 says yes.
Okay. Very good, Tiff. Okay. So Tiff, this child coming through is acknowledging. So for those of you listening, I had brought through a baby. He was a son. And even though the family knew he was going to be born with a birth defect, they were expecting him to live longer, and he didn't. He is also showing me that his headstone, he was buried, not cremated, has an angel on it, and Tiff has claimed him. Tiff, I'm hearing that he very much chose you. When I asked him what he means by that, he is saying that you hold some guilt for the birth defect that he had. And though you had nothing to do with it, as a mom, I understand that you feel some guilt towards that. He wants you to know that there is no guilt. He's also showing me that he has sent the bumblebees. And I was like, what are we doing here? You have some flowers in the front of your house. Well, I shouldn't say in the front of your house. You have some flowers around your house. Let me be not so specific. And you recently had noticed these bumblebees, and you were just fascinated by these bumblebees, and you were just watching them, and he is telling me that he sent those. He also sends the hummingbirds too. Thank you so much for claiming him, and I appreciate you being here today. All right, we're doing Spirit Life now?
Sure.
Had a hair hanging off my iPad. I'm telling you.
She said she didn't think it's herself.
Okay, she said she doesn't think it's hers, so if that message fits someone on here, please claim this little boy. I could never commit a crime because I'm constantly losing hair. They'd be like, oh, look, a hair, DNA, find it. Some medications I'm on is causing me to shed like crazy. Gotta love that. All right. I'm hearing the name Mason. I'm seeing a gentleman. So it's a man. I'm hearing the name Mason. He's also showing me that he was very much a rancher type person. Do you read, translate dreams? What I usually do with dreams is when you tell me what your dream, I just tap spirit and say, what are we talking about here? Probably I have a couple of, some of my medium friends calls me the spirit machine. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Mason, but I have a funny story to tell y'all. The baby could be your baby cousin. Thank you, Kelly, for taking him. Please ask his mom or his mom's mom, because I'm feeling that very mom energy about that bumblebee and the flowers, and just so they know that it was him. So we had been, a friend of mine and I were working on a thing. And so we're sitting there, and I could feel this spirit like burning in the back of my head. And I turned, I was like, there is a spirit that doesn't belong here. So now anytime you go into your house, there are spirits that are always going to be there, but some of them just don't belong to you, and you can leave them there or not. I knew this spirit was kind of spying. And so my friend that I was with said, yes. And she named who probably sent the spirit. And I was like, yeah. So I kicked the spirit out. And my friend turned to me and she's like, I don't know what they thought they were doing, send a spirit to you, because they call me the spirit machine. If there is something in spirit, yeah, I'm there. So when you ask me to baby spy, oh, goo, that's so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay. I was very much, so when you ask me a question, or in the dreams, or I just tap, spirit, what do you mean? Constantly asking spirit. I love spirit. All right. I'm hearing the name Mason. I'm hearing a man who was a rancher. He is showing me that, I don't know that this was his only business, but he had money. Let's just say that. He had some money. You could tell, thank you, realtor. He is showing me that he had newer trucks. He is showing me his boots were probably more money than I've ever spent on a pair of shoes in my entire life. I'm quite certain of it. So everything he had was very pricey. He is showing me lots of land, like they owned lots of land. He's also showing me that though he stayed married, he was not always the most respectful husband. He was, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. He was also kind of thin, not skinny, but thin. And he has shown this to me several times. It wasn't a cowboy hat, but it wasn't just like one of these dirty, old, sweaty cowboy hats. This was one of the nice cowboy hats. And he shows me taking it off and putting it on the seat beside him in the truck. And he was very particular about it not getting dirty. All right, so let's see if someone can claim this gentleman. I'm hearing an M name, let's say Michael Mason, something like that. But Mason was the first thing that came to me, Michael Mason. Was this guy a Mason? He was a Mason. It wasn't his name. He was a Mason. Okay. This gentleman was a Mason, which I don't know why. I guess it would be relevant to who he was. He is showing me that he was a rancher. He had a lot of land. He had always had new trucks. He had money. He showed me his boots were very expensive. He's also showing me he wore hats that he was very particular about. He'd put the hat over there. He's showing me he died quickly. He has me catching my chest like he died quickly. But he is showing me that when he died, he went to the hospital. Like when he had this, no one has claimed him yet. He had this chest issue, and I'm seeing being in the hospital. I do make it to the hospital, or he does make it to the hospital. I was blending with him. So when I blend with the spirit, you'll hear me say like I have taken on their energy. So I feel myself making it to the hospital, and they are working on me, and I lived for a little while at the hospital, but I wasn't able to rally. There was too much damage done. I'm also seeing that there was a lot of arguing over the will and the money. Okay. So let me translate. If he belongs to you, say yes. This gentleman was a Mason. You know that group. He was a rancher. They had a lot of land. He is showing me there was a lot of dust on this land. It wasn't like it was all green and beautiful grass. There is a lot of dust. He always had new trucks. He had very expensive boots. He also had very expensive hats. He had a chest heart issue, but he did make it to the hospital. He did not make it out of the hospital. And when he passed, he shows me that, these people are at each other's throats. It usually happens, unfortunately. Okay, Josie, you said you think you may know him. Who do you think he was? All right. Is someone going to claim this gentleman? I did a reading on my dad with you one time. You might remember her name was Tabitha. All right. I do not. Is he from the South? He is very tall. I had said that earlier. I had said earlier that he was very tall. He is showing me, I'm feeling Texas, and I had felt Texas from the beginning, but I didn't want to say Texas because
Judd Loves to Craft just said Texas.
Oh, Judd Loves to Craft just said Texas. He is showing me, I'm feeling, I had seen Texas earlier, but sometimes if I'm not 1,000%, it's like, I didn't want to throw someone off. So I told him, show me what the land looked like. And he showed me parts of it being very, very dusty. He's not from Louisiana. I'll tell you right now, it's not Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana, and I know that energy very well. You think it could be your brother, Calvin Taylor. All right, Miss Josie. Do you, does all of it fit you? Or fit your brother? I shouldn't say you. Does it fit your brother? Okay, Josie said that she thinks it's her brother. So I'm going to start with this message. Okay. This man is saying that, yes, he had so Josie, let's see if the message fits. He did start with some help in life. He was really a self-made man. He was a self-made man, and he is showing me that he worked hard. He also had a code of ethics he lived by, and if you didn't fit in that ethics, you were out. He had other businesses beside this ranch that he ran with people. Like the ranch, I'm feeling was his, but he had other things that he did with other people. He is showing me that after he passed, he was very surprised at how cutthroat people got with his estate. Everyone was looking for a piece of the action. He's also showing me that he had no idea what an impact he made on people. He's talking about a legacy. This man liked to help people. He wanted to leave a legacy behind. And he is showing me that when at his funeral, all walks were there. People that were very wealthy and the movers and groovers of the town, and also just people that had worked for him. He was very good. He could be a hard man, but he was also very good and ethical. He said what he meant and meant what he said. She's also showing me that, Josie, are you divorced? He's showing me you either being divorced or you had a relationship that functioned like a marriage and now it is no longer. And does he say anything about a wife or wives?
That's a different person.
Yeah, I don't know. Has Josie been back up?
She's still on there. I mean,
I haven't seen this message. Okay. So he's talking about the relationship that functioned like a marriage that is no longer, or the marriage that there was a divorce, and how much you very much needed to leave that relationship. Like you hung on to it and hung on to it. I was in a 4-year relationship. Okay. And how because I said, oh, you were in a marriage, and he stopped me. Like I said, oh, there was an energy shift. So it was a relationship that functioned like a marriage that is no longer, and she did confirm that. And he was saying how much you had needed to leave that was just really, it wasn't like this person was abusive outright, but it was really killing your spirit. You were just not, it was changing who you were at a soul level and how much you needed to leave it. Also, you learned during that relationship to stand up for yourself, to stand in your truth, to make sure that no one is taking advantage of you like that again. He is showing me that he sends you birds, but it's a specific kind. What kind of specific kind is this? Okay. He is showing me he sends you crows. And so that may be weird, but crows are hard to get to people. And he is showing me you're outside and one has kind of landed. I don't know if that's a line, either it looks like a telephone pole or a line or a high line. So just know when you see, it looks like a crow, it's a blackbird. That is your brother. And I asked him, why are you sending something so different? Because usually people will send hummingbirds or robins or cardinals. I mean, sending a crow, that's kind of odd. And he is saying that he never, ravens. Okay, very good. I'll take ravens too. He is saying that he could never send just the normal bird. So your brother always had to do things a little bit differently. And so just know when you see the ravens, those are from your brother. All right, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. If y'all are interested in a one-on-one appointment, those can only book to my website. I will not be messaging you, so please don't Venmo anyone any money. On Wednesday, I have a free workshop coming up, so if you want to join that, please come and join me. You have to go to, you're welcome, Josie. You do have to go to my website, Christy Godwin Psychic Medium, and go under events to register. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone has just a wonderful, wonderful weekend.